In the 1960s, Milton Friedman and Edmund Phelps developed the concept of a natural rate of unemployment. This is sometimes called the structural unemployment rate. Milton Friedman's idea of a natural rate of unemployment parallels Adam Smith's idea of a natural price. It represents the hypothetical unemployment rate consistent with aggregate production being at a long-run level. Milton Friedman argued that the economy's institutions determine the natural rate of unemployment. Therefore, if the economy's institutions were to grow in a way that would decrease the natural rate of unemployment, that would be considered structural economic growth. This is different than economic growth in dollar terms. It is possible for the GDP to go up without a corresponding change in the natural rate of unemployment. As corporations become more efficient, more automated, they often shed jobs and grow at the same time. This can lead to a situation where there is economic growth in terms of rising GDP accompanied by structural economic decline, where the economy declines in terms of jobs and wages. I would argue that structural unemployment exists because an economy's institutions in aggregate own a finite amount of global demand. This demand is spread out over a finite number of markets. Within each of these markets, each participating economy owns a natural level of global demand, which includes both the domestic and international demand. In other words, people throughout the entire world, including the United States, are only going to buy so much U.S.-made toilet paper. Thus, the global market for U.S.-made toilet paper is finite. The same holds true for every category of product that the United States produces. U.S.-owned demand is not limited to U.S. markets. U.S. suppliers own a significant amount of foreign demand, whereas, likewise, foreign suppliers own a significant amount of U.S. demand. It doesn't matter so much where the demand exists, but rather what economy owns it. General Motors, for example, owns a significant amount of Chinese demand. More than 4 Buicks are sold in China for every Buick sold in the U.S. This would be considered U.S.-owned demand. An economy is the summation of the domestically owned demand within all its markets served. This means that said economy would have a natural GDP. The actual GDP can grow or shrink relative to the natural GDP, but market forces would always tend to drive demand ownership within each of the markets that made up the economy toward their respective natural size. This tends to drive the economy to seek the natural GDP. The modern economy tends to be demand limited, not capacity limited. So adding more suppliers to any existent market or more capacity to any given supplier is not likely to have much effect on aggregate domestically owned demand within that market, all else being equal. This creates a situation where there are only 2 ways to increase the natural GDP and bring about structural economic growth. One way is to create new industries and proprietize more demand within these industries. The other way is to transform old industries in such a way that will upsize global demand and or upsize domestic share of the global market. New industries, markets, market niches, or transformations thereof do tend to add to the natural GDP of the economy, but they might displace aggregate demand owned in other markets. So the amount of economic growth directly created by any new instance of formation or transformation might be less than the natural size of the demand owned within a given industry, market, or market niche. Smartphones are examples of market-transforming products that made the whole cell phone market larger by elevating the average selling price of cell phones. The first mover, Apple Inc., enjoys a very strong market position and reported record profits during a major recession. Just being a first mover, however, is not sufficient. A business must also set the bar so high that nobody else can reach it. If they don't come out with a product that sets the bar this high from the onset, they have a very small window of opportunity to set the bar high enough before someone else sets the bar even higher. Regardless of the fact that companies like Google occasionally come into a field late in the game and take over the lion's share of the market by resetting the bar, the public wins by getting even better products. In addition, the suppliers in each new or transformed industry, market, or niche will create new jobs. The suppliers and their employees will spend money. This will create sympathetic growth in other potentially mature markets. This sympathetic growth could be several times larger than the growth directly caused by the new market. Still, however, the sympathetic growth would not occur but for the creation of the new market or the transformation of an old one. For example, when a high-tech startup hires a few thousand people, they will upsize the local market for restaurant, food, dental services, and real estate. Same argument would apply to the natural rate of unemployment. Industry formation, market formation, niche formation, transformation thereof creates jobs and triggers the creation of sympathetic jobs within other potentially mature industries. This would further cause the natural rate of unemployment to go down.